So here's a big question for you. Have Western nations, kind of lost their ambition? Today we're diving into a really compelling argument. The idea that societies, especially places like the UK, they've stepped back from those massive, nation-defining projects they used to build with so much confidence. So what happened? Why do we stop building big?
It really all comes down to a certain mindset. Back in 1962, when JFK said this, he wasn't just setting a goal. He was laying down a challenge, defining a whole national attitude. Think about it. He's saying we should choose the tough path, not despite the difficulty, but literally because of it. And that single idea, man, it was going to shape an entire era.
So yeah, this was a real call to ambition. That one speech really helped define what you might call a golden age of achievement. It was this incredible post-war period where it felt like anything was possible. No project was too big. It really sparked this collective desire to just build and explore.
Right, so let's talk about when we really did build big. Because this wasn't just a bunch of nice speeches, not at all. This ambition was real. You could see it in the concrete and steel going up all around. So let's take a look back at what this era of big thinking actually gave us.
The scale of what was getting done back then was absolutely staggering. Just look at this legacy. We put a man on the moon in '69. But at the same time, back here on Earth, whole countries were being transformed. You've got the UK rolling out its massive motorway network in the '70s. The US finally completes its incredible interstate highway system. We even dug a tunnel under the sea to connect the UK and Europe. And this momentum, this drive, it just kept going for decades, right up to the point where our buildings started scraping the clouds at nearly a kilometer high.
This quote, I think, just nails the whole spirit of that time. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe. We reached for the stars. And that's exactly what it felt like. You could just feel the momentum. There was this genuine belief that we could take on any challenge, no matter how huge, and actually win. We were reaching for the stars, in every sense of the word.
And then, we didn't. Just 5 words, but wow, they mark a huge turning point in this story. All that momentum, it just stalled. The reaching for the stars, it stopped.
And this is where we enter what some people are calling the age of hesitation. It's this major shift from doing what is hard to, not doing it at all. That whole era of grand ambition was replaced by something else entirely, an age of caution, of delay, of constantly scaling things down. It became a time where, instead of doing things because they're hard, we started looking for reasons not to do them in the first place.
Okay, so let's look at ambition, UK versus the world. A tale of two timelines. Is this shift actually real? Well, let's look at the evidence. What we're going to do is put some recent UK projects right next to what's going on elsewhere in the world. And believe me, the contrast is pretty telling. All right, let's start with high-speed rail. Case in point, the story of HS2. On the left, you see the original plan, the big, ambitious vision, a 330-mile network that would connect London with the big northern powerhouses, Manchester and Leeds. And on the right, that's the reality. The ambition got watered down, the plan got shrunk, and now the line is going to be less than half its original length, just stopping at Birmingham. And here's the thing. While the UK was scaling back, the rest of the world, they're pushing ahead, full steam. We're talking about continent-spanning networks being planned in Africa, major new projects popping up all over the Americas, and huge new networks getting built across Asia, in places like India, Cambodia, and Bangladesh. The ambition for this stuff is absolutely global.
And this isn't just about railways either. The same pattern shows up with airports. Take a look. On one side, you had this super ambitious vision, the so-called Boris Island, a brand new, cutting-edge airport built from scratch on reclaimed land, a fresh start. But nope, that was seen as too ambitious, too difficult. So what was the cautious compromise? To just squeeze a third runway into Heathrow, an airport that's already bursting at the seams.
And get this, here's the real kicker. That safe compromise, the less ambitious option, it comes with an estimated price tag of £49 billion. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? It completely challenges that whole idea that playing it safe is somehow the cheaper way to go.
So, while the UK debated for years and years, what did the rest of the world do? They built. Just look at this list, and this is just a sample of all the countries that went ahead with huge airport projects during that same time. Chile, Dubai, Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, the list goes on and on. The message couldn't be clearer. The world is moving forward, and ambition isn't going to wait around.
Okay, so this brings us to the real heart of the matter, the cost of playing it safe. What does this retreat from grand ambition, what does it actually mean for us? Because this isn't just about trains being laid or airports being crowded. It's something much, much deeper than that. And it really makes you ask, why? Why did this happen?
And that forces us to ask some pretty tough questions. Like, what does this say about our nation, about our place on the global stage? I mean, when a country that used to lead the entire world in engineering starts to consistently pick the smaller, safer option, what kind of message does that send? What does it say about our confidence, about our role in this century?
And even more to the point, what does this say about our ambition? Seriously, what happened to that spirit we talked about from 1962? That willingness to take on a massive challenge because it was hard. Has that just gone?
This quote, I think, just sums it up perfectly. We once measured greatness by the scale of our ambition. Now we seem to measure it by how little risk we're willing to take. It really points to this fundamental change in what we value. We've shifted away from celebrating the bold visionaries, the people behind the Apollo program, and moved towards just prioritizing risk management over everything else. And that leaves us with this final, pretty haunting thought. We no longer do things because they are hard, we just don't do them at all. It's the complete opposite of what Kennedy was saying all those years ago. It's a really stark conclusion, and it suggests that maybe the biggest risk we face isn't failing, it's the risk of not even trying in the first place. That's definitely something to think about.